Welcome to The Fieldhouse.
What's up, everybody? And we're back. Same people, new name, new colors, new logo. We are now The Fieldhouse. A little bit of just house cleaning. We took a while off. We got busy. Life happened, we got busy, but we're back. Uh, Same thing. We're same people. We're the same show pretty much, but we're The Fieldhouse now. We're going to focus a little bit more on sports betting, kind of like what we like to talk about anyway. Some of our favorite stuff. Same type of layout, just new ideas, new stuff going, but we're back. I'm ready. Are you guys ready?
Pumped to be back.
Let's
I'm
do
excited,
it.
man.
Everybody's looking good. Austin's got a new house, new haircut, new dog. Smitty's still got a lumberjack beard. He's putting his roots in that Georgia clay.
No, babe. No.
How's the East Coast? You like it?
Loving it. Loving it.
You need to get back home, son. Your dad misses you, man. I saw him at the coffee house, and he had nothing but good things to say about you. He misses you. I'm just kidding, but we're back. Even though we're mid-season, mid-football season, towards the end of the baseball season, however you want to be, we're here. But we've had a wild weekend in college. College football is drunk. If you haven't been keeping up with it, it is pure chaos. Pure chaos. I mean, I think right now we have Iowa at number 2, and I think that hasn't happened, and I think it was like since 1980 something. Georgia number 1. Your Georgia Bulldogs, Smitty. Your Georgia Bulldogs are number 1 with that nasty, filthy defense. They look good.
What's crazy is we've seen in the last few years offenses. I mean, football teams have changed to offense only, and I think the Kansas City Chiefs kind of started that, where it's let's not worry about defense. We'll score as many points as we need to. And even Alabama switched to, instead of running it down your throat, they're going to do shotgun, do some passing. And now we got the top 2 teams in the country are just heavy defense. So it's interesting seeing this switch. But you still got those strong offensive teams right there on the edge. So I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. The Iowa defense looks like peak LSU. Looks like a bunch of Tyrann Matthews running around just
scoring more points than the offense is.
I mean, look at their interception stats. I think they're averaging like 3 interceptions a game, which is insane. Georgia's defense, you can't run the ball on them. I mean, they got what's the defensive tackle's name? It's like 6'5".
Jordan Davis.
Yes.
Jordan Davis and Nakobe Dean, dude. Those dudes are freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's that's the most exciting team right now to me because everybody's adopted this kind of pro style offense and trying to run the spread and that RPO type stuff. And I like that Georgia, it looks like you took a step back in the early 2000s. It's just crazy. They're winning, and everybody was like, you can't win with that type of offense, and even with a good defense nowadays, you won't win. And I like seeing that. So maybe they're going to dethrone Alabama and be the new style of football going forward.
Yeah. They're nasty. They tackle very well. You can't get past them. It's one of the most craziest things I've ever seen in my life. But it's exciting. To me, and this is just my opinion, this has been one of the most exciting college football seasons to watch since, of course, 2019 LSU Tigers for me. But other than just pure chaos and just all that fun stuff, it's been pretty interesting to watch.
I think there's more of a switch up now. It's not the same old, same old. We got a little bit of new, fresh feel. And I don't know if it's because of COVID that we kind of feel like we missed a year, but this year just seems different.
Mm-hmm.
Unpredictable, man. It's just you couldn't write this stuff. It's crazy.
And that was one of my favorite things.
Sports better. Worst year. It's so unpredictable.
Worst year, yeah. It's been really, really bad. And that's another thing that I've just loved. I guess the first week it was really emphasized in the media, but the freaking fans being back, super electric. I don't know how. It's a different world. It feels good.
Do you know what was like the one moment that sent chills to y'all when you realized that like college football is like really back? Like I have one in my mind that sticks out in particular, but like when did it really hit you? Like maybe it was like week
Mine
0 or week 1 or maybe.
mine was probably I think the first real one that to me was like it was all over social media was the
Virginia Tech.
no, it was the Wisconsin when they did the jump around.
Okay.
I think at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Uh, that was crazy. Virginia Tech and the Inner Sandman was
That
crazy.
was that was the one I was talking about, dude.
Yeah.
When I saw that, like sent chills through my body. I was like, "Mother effing college football is back."
Sitting on the couch watching that on Twitter, and all of a sudden I see myself jumping up off the couch. I'm like,
Dude,
jumping with them.
yeah, I was so excited, man. That was like that sent a lightning bolt through my body. So
Yeah,
that's cool. But
those are the main two I think. I
I'll tell
haven't,
you,
but
we've been 3 of the 4 home Georgia games, and it's every game. It's just like it just keeps topping and topping and topping. No matter who they're playing, it's like
mhm,
people are just loving that football's back.
yeah,
quick question, Smitty, how was it when they were chanting for Archie? When
Oh, I have mixed feelings because I'm an Ole Miss fan still, but I live here in
right.
Akron. And it's like literally the student section had like painted arch on their chest, and then just this chant starts coming out, and then you see Cooper over there too. It's pretty wild. Apparently, he really likes it down here, though.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm ready to see where he's gonna go. I hope he goes somewhere other than Ole Miss and Tennessee. I hope he does his own thing. I have a feeling he will. And then there's a part of me with Lane Kiffin being in Oxford that he's gonna probably wind up in Ole Miss. And I hate to ruin his career like that. Like that's crazy for him. But I don't know. Like you, if he does what he's supposed to do, him at Georgia, man, that's you're looking at a new maybe dynasty going on, which they've already built on some stuff. But
Hands down.
yeah, I'm looking at before we get into this. We'll recap this past weekend. I'm looking at the defensive leaders for the team. Obviously, points allowed average so far this season. Georgia's averaged, and this can't be right, but I think it is 5.5 points a game.
I
you
think it's
mean their defense is allowing 5 points?
Yeah, and that's average through what is this week 6 going on week 7?
Yeah, this was
Yeah, 5.5.
only allowed 2 touchdowns this year.
That's insane. Yeah, zero. There are a lot
No
of
way,
zeros, a lot
really?
of threes. Clemson is actually second with 12.2. Cincinnati's right behind them at 12.2, and then Iowa at 13. So
I guess they shut out Vanderbilt. They shut out Arkansas. They only allowed 10 points to Auburn.
Touchdown to South Carolina and a touchdown
Yeah,
to Auburn. That's the
yeah,
only two.
yeah,
that's
and
the
yeah.
same.
Then Clemson, they just what was it? Field goal. Yeah, so that's crazy. That's awesome. I mean, that shows
Yeah,
you how impressive that
it's
defense
very
is.
impressive. So let's go. Let's recap the weekend, and we'll go to the opposite side from defense. We'll talk about the big noon Texas Oklahoma game. That was a freaking shootout. Of course, it always is. I mean, we're not surprised, but I think most everybody was surprised due to Texas coming out strong. They look good for about
The whole game till the fourth quarter.
yeah, they look good into the fourth quarter. Like I was impressed. I was like, holy crap! Like, because I've heard it throughout the whole year with the Big 12 playing. Oklahoma hasn't looked great, and there a lot of people were debating is Texas the best Big 12 team. Well, of course, I put money on them. I had Texas. What was it? Plus 3.5. I think it was.
I bet them twice. I was so confident in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was looking good all morning, and then I don't, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. Spencer Rattler did not happen. Uh, we'll get to him in a minute,
Mm.
but they came out strong, and I don't know. Maybe the future's bright. I'm not a big tech. I don't really like Texas and Oklahoma. I don't like any of them. But it was kind of fun to see. It was kind of fun. I guess it was just fun to watch Oklahoma kind of get their skull drugged in the dirt for a little bit.
Man,
Um,
they just don't bring in that backup quarterback. Our bank accounts are looking pretty, and Oklahoma's not in the
yeah.
playoff picture.
So let's continue with that. Smitty and Alston, I want you to fill in the blank. You ready?
Yep.
Spencer Rattler will be playing for blank next year.
Penn State.
Penn State. I've been hearing a lot of chirp Penn State.
My top three: Penn State, Notre Dame, Iowa.
He's a West Coast guy, right?
Yeah,
I think he'll stay in the West Coast. So, well, when I say West Coast, I mean, um, probably. When I say Louisiana, I'm not saying LSU. I don't want them, but I'm saying about that LSU line and West. I just don't see him going. I don't see him. Penn State's going to be cold. I don't know if he'll like that or not.
I could see them reviving Oregon a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was thinking mine was going to be Oregon. I could honestly see him go to Cincinnati.
Yeah,
And,
I was thinking Cincinnati too.
yeah, uh, with if Fickle's still there, or however you say his name. But I don't know. That third one's kind of tough for me to think. But those are my two most confident. Maybe I could put Notre Dame in there, just their ability to,
All right, I'm about to throw a team out and just tell me how
Or-
you feel.
Well, De'Aaron King, he'll be back at Miami next year because he got hurt. But I mean, I
You're
could
close. You ready for this? What about Clemson?
Yeah,
It fits. I wish you
it
I
would.
actually
mean,
does. I guess I didn't even think of that. But what's his name?
That's what I don't want to have because
Yeah.
I mean that would be insane. That would turn the college football world upside down, I think.
Well,
And I was thinking about this today. How does the NIL deals go in with the transfer portal? You ever does it stick with that certain player or is it like a school thing? Because now you got to think the schools and the lawyers are involved with the NIL deal. And I wish we were still doing this when the NIL news dropped because that was incredible news. But I was like, because I feel like if he transfers, I feel like Oklahoma might have their hand in some of those deals. And, now it won't be an issue him getting more, I'm sure. But I was thinking about that today too.
he would make the most money staying at Oklahoma and just getting better if he was the starter there. But I think it's interesting. I would love to hear like the pitches for these schools trying to get him. Like, hey, we've
Yeah.
got this company and this company. They'll pay you this and this and this. And I'd love to hear him.
Yeah.
This whole Spencer Rattler situation just kind of makes me scratch my head. Like I don't really
Yeah.
know what to think with it because I mean, apparently Lincoln Riley's like going to bat for him, and I mean, of course, defending your player like you should, but
Yeah.
he's still claiming support for Oklahoma and stuff. But I mean, I just don't. I mean, he looked terrible I mean, he's looked terrible all season. Like
He hasn't
supposed
looked
to be a
great.
Heisman favorite, comes out and almost gets beat by Tulane. Barely squeaks by every week, and now loses the job to was the dude a freshman or a redshirt freshman or something?
He's a sophomore this year.
Sophomore. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, he loses the job to that, and then it's supposed to be like a number one overall pick. Probably won't even be if he decides to forego senior season. He might not even get drafted. So I
Yeah.
just don't know, man. It just is weird. But yeah, with the NIL stuff, I think like you leave Oklahoma, you lose those NILs. I think it's some type of contingency written up in that. I mean, he'll get wherever he goes. He's going to be a star because he's Spencer Rattler, and everybody knows his name. It's going to be a hot ticket, but a lot of people actually have been saying stuff about Lane Kiffin wanting to pursue him after Matt Corral leaves.
Oh.
I hope it does not happen. I know I just don't like Spencer Rattler. Something about him. He has a very punchable face to me.
Yeah, I think it's just him.
And then that Netflix documentary clip keeps resurfacing about him.
Oh yeah, bullying that one dude.
And then you see him after the game, Oklahoma. He's not celebrating with the team. He's walking off with some other agent or something.
Yeah, I tweeted about that. I thought that tweet was going to do numbers, but it didn't.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it'll
Him
be there
walking
one
to
day.
the
too.
transfer portal. Like that was
That's
perfect.
it. That's funny. I wish I
Yeah.
was seeing that.
I don't. My Twitter base ain't great. I've deleted my Twitter several times. Anyways, who was the quarterback that came in? Ben Harris, or Spencer Jones?
I can't remember the kid's name. Give me one
I bet if I
second.
look
He
up
looked
stats.
good.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
But news broke that or Caleb Williams actually.
Caleb Williams, yeah, because they were chanting, "We want Caleb." Yeah.
Yeah. But after today, apparently some student or somebody was like looking through binoculars and they saw that Caleb here took the snap in 18 practice. And so that he's technically the guy that broke the news that Caleb was going to be starting. And so since that happened, Oklahoma canceled all media availabilities until this game Saturday.
Smart move on their part.
Yeah, very smart.
And
It's
a lot of that
Oklahoma.
kind of could be some media misconceptions too, just because I mean, like you take, and that just might be one or two practices where he's taking the snaps. But I mean, in my head, just after watching the last game, he's the number one quarterback on the team. But
Yeah. But we had some good
Oklahoma
games
doesn't deserve
Saturday.
to be a top 5 team, in my opinion.
Yeah. We had a good game Saturday. We had Iowa and Penn State, decent, your typical Big Ten uh, defense, punting, not very many points, decent game Saturday. Iowa's defense looked good, like always. It was funny when they had the ball at the end, they kept kneeing the ball, and they ended up having to punt because they didn't run enough clock down. Like they didn't even attempt to get a first down. That's just your typical Big Ten football, I guess. I don't know.
Just your defense.
So staying in Texas, the next big game was the night game, Texas A&M upsetting Alabama. Now that game to me was very mind blowing because Texas A&M came into the season very, very, very hyped up, and then they looked okay for week 1, and then they just somehow shut down. And then Saturday, they looked pretty freaking good.
It's that Jimbo magic, man. I don't even know how to describe it. That's the wildest thing I've ever seen. Like it was crazy. I was with you that night, and we were trying to watch the fight on one screen, the Alabama game on the other, and that game just like caught our attention. It was just
Yeah.
insane. It was literally the craziest thing I've ever seen. I mean, what were they beating them by? It was like 24-10 at halftime. Yeah, that's insane. Or
It got
21
ugly
40.
quick.
Yeah, 28-14. Something. It was like a 2-touchdown lead, and they capitalized on mistakes. I think Alabama walked in there kind of thinking a lot higher of themselves because what they did to Ole Miss the past week too. Maybe weren't fully prepared, and there was so much hype around that game that this game was just supposed to be a walk in the park, and it was a trap game. And they had a good game plan. They didn't allow Mark Robinson or whatever. What's the running back for Alabama that like ran?
Brian Robinson.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, to run for like 300 yards. They shut him down.
He still went for 147 yards, and that's what I'm looking at. Alabama had 153 rushing yards. Texas A&M had 94. Alabama had 369 passing yards. Texas A&M had 285. It was just all defense.
Statistically, Bama had a better game, but
yeah,
I think A&M had some key turnovers or something.
They had a fumble and an interception.
Yeah, something like that. That definitely helped them, and then just getting on the board early, capitalizing on those moments.
They also had a kick return for 96 yards. So special teams coming in clutch like always. Yeah, they just of course, Alabama came out in the second half. I thought they were going to come back and win that game. I think Texas A&M just got out hot, started hot, got up 17-7 in the first quarter, and then just kind of maybe tried to just kind of control the game from there, running down the clock. I don't know, but it was – what, 100 and how many people can that stadium hold? 110,000. 110 and storming the field. Of course, obviously not all 110 storm, but that's a lot of dead gun people.
Yeah.
It was I hate Texas A&M too, but it was a pretty cool moment, I guess. Unranked, they wasn't even ranked. And then Jimbo Fisher goes down as the first assistant to beat King Saban.
24-1.
He was so confident, and during that week too. Remember, he came out in that press conference and says, "We're going to whoop them." And then Nick Saban says, "What, in golf?"
Oh yeah,
he had something planned up, and it looked like he was disguising his defenses really well. Who he was rushing, who he wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And what stuck out to me was like A&M basically played a perfect game. It was like they didn't try to do anything special to beat Alabama. What they did was just stuck to their plan. Any turnovers they had, they made sure that they capitalized. It was just a simple, perfect, clean game.
Yeah.
What made me so mad was I took all my winnings from that day sports betting and just threw them on Alabama before I went to bed. Just said, "Hey, I'll win a couple more extra dollars tonight. That's a gimme." And then all that happened. So.
I was upset. Caesars, BetMGM put out a special future Alabama to beat Texas A&M, LSU, and Arkansas all in the regular season for like plus 250.
Oh no.
And yeah,
I
I
can't.
thought about. Luckily, I didn't do as much as I wanted. My heart, no, my gut was saying put your next paycheck on it. My heart was saying no, and I'm glad I didn't. I'd have been a very upset man.
Can't but help notice that you skipped over this Ole Miss Arkansas game that was at 12 o'clock.
Sorry, we were getting to that.
Best for last.
Best for last. They
Kentucky.
both look like really good teams. I mean, Ole Miss's offense is obviously, I think it's the second best offense in the nation. Matt Corral, 0 picks on the season. Matt Corral is, to me, he's the only player I've watched that deserves the Heisman so far. They look good. I mean, as an LSU fan, we play Florida. We got Florida, Alabama, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Ole Miss, and it's not looking pretty for us.
Yeesh.
And yeah, so we got
Tough schedule.
we got our gauntlet starts this weekend, like every year. But we got Louisiana Monroe. We'll get that dub. But I hope. But Ole Miss and Arkansas, that was a great game. I mean, I love watching just a shootout. I love Sam Pittman's call to go for 2.
To be honest, as an Ole Miss fan,
Awesome.
I object, just like kind of being as I weren't an Ole Miss fan. Yeah, I love the play call too. I was like, I said before he even like held the 2 up, I was like, they're going for 2.
Oh yeah,
they deserve to. The only thing I didn't like is they didn't just run a triple option like they did, every other time to get 20 yards. Like they would have like. Thank God DJ Durkin called one good play to save the game right there, because he brought pressure at the right time, made KJ make a bad throw. But if it was just him rushing, I don't know if they would have stopped him or not, just because they couldn't do it all game.
I was like, wait a minute, you've been running down their throat all game. He could have easily scored. And they're not their starting running back, their backup.
Oh yeah, that Smith kid.
Yeah,
I can't remember his last name, but
he was freaking toting that thing, and he could have easily got that 2-point conversion too. And Sam Pittman, he wasn't calling the offensive plays. You could obviously tell he was calling offensive play. It was their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He just messed it up. Young guy. I think probably after the game and watching the film, he knew that he's like,
Well, he probably didn't have one drawn up. Sam Pittman probably was like, "Hey, we're going.
Oh, yeah.
You better come up with."
I like it though.
Yeah.
I mean, Ole Miss would have done the same thing. I believe they're in that situation.
Somebody had to go for 2, or that game would have went on for 7 overtimes.
Yeah,
it would have been like, what was that year, 2000 and
They went 6 overtimes
6 or 7 or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, but it was 7 overtimes. I can't remember what year it was, but yeah, that was crazy. And I think did we score more points in this game and have more yards combined than the 7 overtime game? I'm pretty sure we did.
probably.
I think we broke the record for the series, but I don't know. A bunch of Arkansas fans were pretty upset, which honestly, as an Ole Miss fan,
I get why you're upset. But then again, I don't know why you're upset. Like, you're obviously 2 of the better teams in the West, not considering Alabama and I guess now Texas A&M. But like, I mean, you had to do it, in my opinion.
Arkansas's future is bright.
Oh yeah,
very bright.
I absolutely love Sam Pittman. He is he's just a unit. I love it.
Dude, he's a cool dude, and he's had so much of an impact on that team in such a short amount of time. Like, expectations were like down here. Like, after they didn't get Lane Kiffin, they were like, gosh, like Sam Pittman, we're gonna put all our hope in him. He is like exceeded everything I could have imagined for them either.
And that offensive line for Arkansas looked good too. I mean, that's what his
even for a 3 down front, they have like a freaking very impressive defensive line and probably one of the most impressive offensive lines in the SEC, possibly nation. But
yeah,
man, that's just I'm proud of Arkansas. Like, they've done a lot in 2 years to change that program.
Yeah. So I mean, same Lane Kiffin has turned Ole Miss around. Ole Miss is scary. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I do say I do hope Ole Miss absolutely puts the throat down on Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. I hope they do.
It's gonna have like 2,000 yards passing.
It's gonna be
it's gonna be insane. But I don't know.
Fireworks.
Yeah,
Is that on Thanksgiving Day this year?
Yeah, it's
Let's
Thanksgiving.
go.
So that might be the only good thing that has come from this drop six defense.
Yeah.
Will be like this, maybe
Yeah, yeah.
stopping that air raid. But they're like Mike Leach is not doing a pure air raid anymore. He actually is rushing it a good bit now. Like they're
Oh
using the
yeah.
running back. So
He's a decent little running back too. But no, it was both teams look scary. Jefferson's a heck of a quarterback. Uh, so is Corral. Both. I mean, those two quarterbacks to me, like, I mean, you can talk about a couple like Bryce Young or whatever, but those two quarterbacks right now, top quarterbacks in the SEC, in my opinion, they look good. I love how big Jefferson is. Like, you're supposed to be a tight end, but you're not. You know.
How did we not get him? He grew up in Sardis.
dude,
I
yeah,
know. That's what.
Nola, man. He the reason they didn't get him is because Longo was the offensive coordinator back then. And they stayed in contact. He came and worked out with them all the time. They liked him. But then after Florida decided to go after Felipe and let go Matt Corral, that's when Ole Miss jumped on Corral, and they just didn't give Jefferson even an opportunity. So he was pretty pissed coming into that game. He, he felt like he kind of got shunned by his home team, but it's a good story because he's a heck of a quarterback. Like absolutely, he looks like Cam Newton 2.0 to me. Like that's what he reminded me of, especially when he did that dive in the end zone.
Yeah, a little bit more weight. He looks like a beast. So while we're at Ole Miss, let's go ahead and look at this upcoming weekend. Ole Miss at Tennessee, sold out Tennessee too. Is it the 90s? Like I'm ready to watch this game.
That's what it feels like. It's gonna be just Arkansas. It's gonna be a shootout.
Yeah, I'm nervous. Like I think this could be identical to that Arkansas game.
Ole Miss is was it a 10-point favorite?
Something like that, like a 10.5 or 8.5.
Down to 2, I think 2.5.
Oh,
2.5.
I see 10.
Yeah.
I thought it was like it's closer to 10, but that's crazy. I know the over is like 82.5, isn't it?
82.5 over.
I would take the over on that thing.
Shoot, last weekend I thought 83 was a lot, and they 109 I think it was.
With Ole Miss, there's no such thing as a safe over.
Never. No, it's going to be fun to watch. I'm super excited to watch this game. I'm actually surprised Tennessee's not ranked yet. 2 losses. I mean, to me, they're better than some of those teams that are ranked. They don't look bad at all.
They don't. Who they lose to? Pitt in Florida. Is that it?
Yes.
Pitt looks good this year too.
And Pitt's defense.
Pitt's a really good team. But man, I don't know. They've absolutely mollywopped. They killed Missouri. Like that was probably one of the worst meetings I've seen this year.
That's what's scary is every week they look better and better and better and better, and it's like shoot.
Yeah.
Maybe Tennessee's back. Tennessee's back. Ole Miss is back. Arkansas's back. It's been a crazy year. Kentucky.
Crazy.
We'll talk about Kentucky in a minute too.
I swear, this is crazy. Yeah, with Kentucky.
So if you had to put money on it, who are you taking in this game?
Not touching it.
Kentucky and Georgia. Yeah, I'm scared.
Ole Miss, Tennessee. Ole Miss, Tennessee.
Ole Miss, Tennessee. I I can't bet on Ole Miss.
I could have sworn a few days ago it was higher. It might no, I think it was 6.
I think it was opened at like 4.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of another game. I'm definitely taking the over though. You got 82. Yeah, I don't know.
That just means like 41 points apiece.
Yeah,
I think that can definitely be done.
If you touch that, you're a psychopath. All right, let's stay in the SEC. The next big game, Kentucky going to Georgia for an undefeated SEC East matchup. I can't tell if Kentucky's good or not. I really can't.
I think they played up and down to their competition. Is like,
well, they didn't play down to LSU's competition, or nobody would have scored.
That was to the exception, but I mean, like you said, it's kind of hard to gauge them.
It's defensively, obviously, they're pretty stout. Offensively, I just don't understand how they just run the ball. They've always had a good run game. I guess
they're like in a identity crisis right now. I think like they finally have a quarterback that can throw, so they're testing those waters and they're doing all right with it. Like he's looked pretty good, the first 6 weeks. But nothing just super electric. Like they're not one of those high powered. They're definitely like a throwback type team.
Yeah.
So,
But other than those two games, the next one that I had circled was BYU and Baylor, both 5-1. I think Baylor's favored, even though BYU's 19th in the country. Baylor's looked a little bit good. Texas A&M, Missouri, if they play like they did last weekend, it's a bloodbath. Arkansas and Auburn. That
I like this one.
I do like this one. I think Arkansas is going to come out hot. They're going to want some redemption just after last weekend. Auburn, on the other hand, is another one of those teams where I'm like, are they decent or not? I don't know. Bo Nix, obviously, when TJ Finley got some reps in that tight game 2 weekends ago before LSU, I forgot who they were playing. You can tell TJ Finley getting reps kind of lit a fire under Bo Nix's little butt. He hadn't looked bad. I'm not a fan of Bo Nix. He's trying to be like a Johnny Manziel, even though he's not that athletic.
they're the Kentucky of the West right now to
Yeah.
me. I can't really tell.
Arkansas is a 4.5 favorite. I think I take Arkansas on that.
Yeah, I'm like 51% Arkansas, but I can see it going either way.
I'm staying away from it because I can't tell, but I think it's going to be a great game to watch.
Yeah, it's at 11 o'clock. Arkansas at Arkansas. I think Arkansas takes this. It's going to be a great game to watch. Oklahoma State, Texas. Looked like a bad game.
Oklahoma State's actually really good this year for me, in my opinion.
Another one to circle is Oklahoma State, Texas. Looks like a pretty important game in the Big 12, I would say. Texas is a 5-point. Oh, they're the 5-point favorite. Okay, nice. So Oklahoma State 2-0 in the Big 12, 5-0 in the year so far. Texas is 2-1 in the Big 12, 4-2, and Texas is the favorite. The over/under is 60. Oklahoma State looks good. They can run the ball. Defense not terrible. I think Texas comes out and wins this game. Maybe like a little bit of chip on their shoulder from last weekend, losing a tough one. I don't know though. It's hard to tell with Texas. I just don't know with Texas.
Where is it played at?
It's going to be in Texas.
We'll find out how or who Texas is with this game.
Yeah,
I'm
that.
I'm leaning Texas by a touchdown.
Yeah,
we'll find out how good they actually are from a bounce back of a loss of like that. So this is a big game for them for sure.
Yeah.
If they can minimize some of those mistakes at the second half, that they, just like, I don't know what happened to them the second half of last week. Like it looked like they just couldn't tackle. They just were pretty bad. So
yeah,
if they can change that, then I think they have a chance. But if not, I'm going to go Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they got a good chance. To me, one of the better teams in the Big 12. Texas was back at the start of that game. It was kind of exciting. It kind of, Texas being back is always kind of fun to say. Let people troll them and all that.
I love the SEC chants. SEC.
Yeah, the game day. Yeah, that was crazy. I'm still ready for all that to see what happens. I don't know if they're going to do pods or put them in a conference or division or what. I'm excited to see it. It's going to be crazy.
I'm going to game day Saturday. Should I put a big Fieldhouse sign on the sign?
Yeah, definitely. And then put my logo under it.
Your head on it?
Yes. That would be insane. Smitty, you got to get us some clips from game day. Shoot us some videos.
I get up early, man.
I bet that's going to be early. Early Eastern time, too. So the sun rises in the east. So technically, y'all are up first. Yeah. The sun, y'all see the sun before we do. Yeah. That's not above us or anything. Other than that, I'm excited to see how the season turns out. I'm ready to see if Cincinnati can get a playoff bid. Looking good. Cincinnati looks good. I think their only two big challenges are going to be SMU and depending if they play Houston or not in their conference champ. Houston's winning ball games.
Don't they play UCF this weekend?
Yes, they do play UCF.
It'd be
I would take the over of that game. I think the over is like 40 something.
57 and a half.
57 and a half. Yeah, I would still take that.
And then they are 21-point favorite. They do a pretty good job covering. They beat these snot out of teams. I love seeing them at number 3 too, by the way. That is just awesome. So let's kind of trot over to the NFL. NFL's been
just as crazy.
crazy. It's been fun to watch, I will say. We'll start with the early games, Cincinnati and Green Bay. What a freaking ending, man. That game was insane. With how many missed field goals was it?
3, right? I mean, okay, Mason Crosby missed 3. Evan McPherson missed what, 2? So 5.
Yes. And then, of course, that was just in that game. I think the total of the weekend, there was a lot of freaking missed kicks.
Yeah, it was something crazy. I can't remember exactly, but
here's my thing: is like, I want to back the kickers on this one because the NFL moved the extra point back for this reason, so it would be harder, so it'd be more challenging. And now that kickers are actually like missing, everybody's raising crap about it. I'm like, this is what the NFL wanted, and we're actually getting it. We're actually getting like closer games and more fun to watch games because they're coming down to these last-minute field goals. So I like it. I'm backing the kickers. I think that Cincinnati Green Bay game, I think they said it was just so windy. My favorite part was when Evan McPherson, the Bengals kicker, thought he made it and started celebrating.
Oh yeah, that was funny. I was like, of course, we have a better view than he does, I guess, at the time. But I'm like, why is this dude celebrating? And then I realized, like, oh, he thought it was close, but it was like, it wasn't that close, my man.
What do you think the teammates did when they like picked him up? They're like, I don't know why you're cheering, but yeah, we'll cheer with you.
He was just he was enjoying the moment, and I love that in a young kicker. You know, you soak it all in. You're playing A-Rod, the A-Rod that's not breaking up with J-Lo, and then it's just you're playing a good Packers team, man. This Packers team, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers looks good. I know in the past podcast season, I've always bashed Aaron Rodgers, but I like Aaron Rodgers this year for some reason. And I think it's because he's kind of playing with like a I don't give a crap attitude.
Basically.
Like just out there having fun. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you feel bad because like if you're Aaron Rodgers, you trusted Crosby for years, so you set him up, you get him down there, and then you're on the sideline with his little underwear chin strap, and he misses it, and of course misses it 3 times, I guess. You're like,
An extra point and 3 field goals, yeah.
It was
and
just
it looks
crazy.
bad because what was the game when they played the 49ers in primetime? Aaron Rodgers had 37 seconds left, got him down there, and then he spiked the ball and he gave a huge fist bump because he knew Mason Crosby was going to hit it.
Yeah.
It's funny that this next game he misses 3.
I think most kickers just took the weekend off. I think this was their you get one weekend in NFL to kind of like play your worst as a kicker, and this was the weekend. Also, what is the definition of a doink? Is a doink a missed field goal, or is a doink where it hits the uprights?
Hits the upright.
Hits the upright.
There was somebody in the group chat saying doink, but it wasn't a doink. I can't remember who it was.
It hit the flag. Does that count as a doink?
No. It's got to make the doink noise.
Yeah,
it's not a doink without the doink.
Yeah.
You can't have the doink without the doink, because if you don't have the doink, you don't have the doink. Exactly. We had a London game Sunday. If anybody even watches those, I mean, it was the Jets and the Falcons. I guess if you watched it, you watched it. I didn't watch it.
Kind of glad that it was those 2 teams,
I just had the Falcons and the points, and no, I had the Falcons money line, I think, and I got it. I was excited.
I had the under in that game, and they went over by 2 points.
Ooh,
brutal.
That's always a sniffer right there. Yeah. Who screwed me Sunday? Oh, the freaking Panthers, man. The Panthers had it all game. You can't let Jalen Hurts hang around in the game. He's such a humble guy, man. God's on his side. You can't let him hang around.
I don't know who this Panthers team is. I don't know if they're good. I don't know if they're bad. I can't tell.
All I know is I'm so excited for Joe Brady to be the next coach at LSU next year. I'm so ready for that. No, Sam Darnold, I thought he was good. I was like, holy crap. So
Look
Sam
good.
Darnold's good. And I still think he's done a lot. He's obviously done a lot better, but yeah, the Panthers are a weird team to watch too. I don't like it.
Eagles do have a pretty good defense this year, though. So
Yeah, the Eagles aren't bad. Devontae Smith is a freaking stud. Of course,
yeah,
what's new? Um, sorry. Uh, what other game was I wanting to talk about? Wait a
Bills
minute.
and the Chiefs.
Bills and the Chiefs.
I had Bills the whole time. That Chiefs
Dude,
The,
team is looking stupid.
Chiefs are kind of a train wreck this
the
year.
Chiefs
I mean,
defense is
might be an overreaction, but God bless.
No, the
well,
secondary is rough.
It's
they
really
count
bad.
the defensive rankings in the NFL. It's horrible. It's like 31st, 32nd. It's terrible.
Yeah, and Josh Allen and the Bills look amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
they do look good.
they're hitting
yeah,
their stride right now. They're
they
good.
really are. And then, oh, Josh has found his new best friend in Dawson Knox.
Dude, he's
Yeah.
killing it. He is killing it this year.
Um, Patrick Mahomes, 33 for 54. 200. If you throw the ball 54 times, you better have 1,000 yards. But 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Just, I get it that he can throw the ball sideways, but my God,
I
they
can't tell.
can't run the ball either. By the
No,
way,
they can't. Well,
their leading rusher was Patrick Mahomes.
they're banged up on the offensive line. You got to give them that. They're playing with guys that they signed last minute before the season started.
Yeah, and they're playing a bunch of rookies and like second year players and stuff. It's just
Well, you know what it is, don't you?
What?
Travis Kelsey shaved his beard at the beginning of the season.
That's what it is.
He had all that good juice in the beard, and he
Went
got
straight
rid
down the
of it.
drain.
like Samson in the Bible.
Yeah, it's growing back a little bit, but it's not. It's not the same juice, you know.
He gave all that power to Aaron now. Now Aaron's the man with the
Yeah.
best beard.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Josh Allen threw the ball 26 times, completed it 15. And of those 15 completions, he went for 315 yards.
He's got a cannon.
That's
He's a tight end. He's a tight end playing quarterback.
He's huge.
He's a tank, man. That dude can smash. But dude, how about the performance Lamar put on this past week?
That was my
Okay,
next
go.
game.
Yeah.
I
So-
had Lamar over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Got it.
Yeah.
Ravens money line got it.
Mhm.
Here's where it gets bad. I had Doyle, the tight end for the Colts, over 15 yards. He had like 4. And
Wow.
then I had Carson Wentz under 224, and he doubled that.
400.
Yeah, so it was a bad night for me, but because I went to bed at halftime, I was like, this
I
game's
think
over.
all of America went to bed at halftime.
And then I don't know what happened, but the freaking Ravens came out and shoot.
I don't even know what to talk about this game because I don't know what even happened. Like, how does that happen?
Well, I will say this: the freaking Ravens defense in the first half looked god awful. Their safeties and cornerbacks couldn't cover anything. Their linebackers couldn't make tackles, and they were not getting pressure. Offensively, it would be a pass play. Lamar would scramble, get 4 yards. They run the ball, lose 3 yards. They'd pass it, incomplete, 4th down, punt. It went like that for about at least all the way through the second quarter. It was awful.
Good thing he's about to get that paycheck though after this year.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games that Lamar kind of stamped where he was, hey, I'm a elite quarterback.
This is
pay
his
me.
prove it year. This is his prove like, hey, this is your franchise. Prove it to us
Yeah.
this year. So
Dude,
he's got to step up like this.
He's looking dang good. He's looking really close to what he'd look like MVP year.
They need some receivers.
You look at the numbers side by side, it's pretty close.
Yeah. They
Sorry,
need some
that was a thumbs
receivers.
down.
They got a good tight end, but they need some receivers to help them out a little bit. Need a running back. Latavius Murray's getting a little old, bless his heart, but they look good. I mean, I love a good Monday night game where it's kind of like a shootout. Also, the Ravens used to have some purple lights they used to flash. I didn't see the flashing purple lights And I think that's why they weren't doing as good because I didn't see them flashing. When they're flashing, the Ravens are on point on Monday night.
That's a game changer. UGA does that with the red lights.
Yeah.
It sets a mood.
What was it? A couple years ago? Yeah, it was 2019 when Notre Dame came to Georgia. That late game, and they had those red lights flashing. It's fresh. I love the flashing lights. You know, I don't like when Ole Miss does it.
That 40 Panther thing kind of scares me though.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
I was like, what is going on?
That's scary. I didn't like that at all. I don't think they did it again. They shouldn't. That was very scary.
You talking about the augmented reality Panther?
Yes, it was like climbing on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
it was
scary.
terrifying.
I thought it was real. I was like, wait a second.
The Ravens did it too. They did like Ravens coming down on the field one time.
Well, that's even scarier.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing. A bird. I rather a lion chase me than a bird. Birds are scary.
Speaking of the Lions, we got to talk about these Lions.
I love it, dude.
Dude,
Dan Campbell,
crying.
dude. He is.
It's week 5.
He made me cry. That was emotional.
I don't know how I feel about it. Like it's week
I
5, man.
and I bet on him every week. I don't know why. I just do it.
Until
So,
they pay Calvin Johnson his retirement money, they'll always lose like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dan Campbell was the right man for the right job. Now it's just up to them to draft. Because I forgot who I was listening to. They were talking about it's not really fair how Dan Campbell and Urban Meyer are both like 0-5 or 0-6. Like,
What do you mean it's
because
not?
Dan Campbell, his team's behind him. They're motivated every week. And then Jacksonville is just we don't have to talk about all that because
Two
the
fingers
Gruden,
too low.
yeah, 2 fingers too low. He messed up there, man. You can't double dip, you know. You can't double dip. You can't have too much dip on the chip, and he had way too much dip on that chip.
I mean,
Uh,
he got away with it with his John Gruden stuff. He's out.
yeah. So let's talk about that. John Gruden resigned in the middle of the Monday Night Football game. By the way, I think that's why a lot of
Basically,
people.
yeah.
Um. So I guess the emails were 10 years ago, and he was working for ESPN. And I love how ESPN's like trying to keep their name out of it as if
Nah.
you're not the first employer, that's happening and all this.
The guy that broke the news is getting his emails read right now, and he's under fire.
Yeah, Schefter was even.
Yeah.
Poor Schefter. We all thought Schefter was this good guy that we trusted, and you can't trust nobody anymore, man.
650,000 emails that they're going through right now, and a lot of people are saying like a lot of stuff's about to come out.
Ugh, that sounds like the worst job. Can you imagine having that job?
And like reading them and be like, yeah, if I do this, I'm getting a promotion.
Yeah, like, hey, intern, put your blue
Yeah.
light glasses on and get to work, chump.
Basically.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
And there's probably some other fan that hates the Raiders. That's some type of journalist that's going through and just volunteering to do this type of stuff too, just to make them go down. So
I just love how they broke the news. Like John Gruden says some homophobic, racial, and also talks bad about Roger Goodell. Like him talking bad about Roger Goodell is not the same level of making a racist or homophobic slur. Like you didn't have to throw that in just because he's your boss, but
Yeah.
I loved it. But I didn't love that. But I loved how they just kind of made it seem like Roger Goodell was such a victim. Like who cares?
Does this mean we tell we're on the Raiders this week? Do they come back from something like this?
Against the Broncos, I'm gonna have to say yes.
I do too. I think
Yes.
anytime something like this happens, usually the team rallies, and it's like you're taking a level of toxicity out of the field house, and it's like,
Oh,
you like that?
it's like when Family Guy when you say the title of the movie.
He's a family guy. I think Raiders come back and bounce back with a win this week.
Yeah, I do too. I'm curious to see who gets that. That's a big time job. Las Vegas,
Yeah.
pretty decent team, you would say. Very high profile team being in Vegas, being around all the money, the fame, and the fights and all that.
A lot of positive stuff has been said about this interim head coach that's stepping in.
Really?
So yeah,
Wow.
we'll see how he does.
See, that's what I hate about the NFL is whenever they have a guy step in, it's some guy you've never heard of, but somehow he's on an NFL coaching staff and he always does a decent job. Like I want to see some news break. Like I want to see Tom Brady somehow retiring and taking over the Raiders head coaching job. Like that's what I want to see, but you
Joe
don't get
Brady
that.
takes it.
No, we don't want that to happen. You got Fisher, Jim Fisher. You got some names out there. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. Okay, let's talk about some NFL games. Uh, Tom Brady has a sore thumb Thursday, so that's going to be interesting. They're a 7-point favorite. Chargers and Ravens. Be a pretty good game.
It's gonna be a great game.
Baltimore was a 3-point favorite. The over under is 52. Um, I don't know, dude. Justin Herbert's good. He looks really good. Chargers look good. I like the Chargers coach. He's very ballsy. I like
Brandon
him.
Staley.
Yeah, I like that guy.
I really do like him. He's like a
I
Lane
just kind
Kiffin. He's like more analytic, going for
yeah,
fourth down.
defensive guy too. That's what's kind
Yeah,
of cool about it.
he was Rams defensive coordinator when they
Mhm.
were insanely good.
Yeah, I like him. They got a good team. This is going to be a really fun game to watch. Both 4-1, so we'll see.
I got.
I
I'm leaning the over and Chargers.
over in Chargers.
I'm just taking Chargers. What is it? What they're are they plus 3.5?
Chargers are +3 right now on Caesars,
Okay.
depending on where you get it.
Yeah, I would take that.
The other game that I was, the Cardinals are the underdog
Yeah,
versus them and the Browns.
I've been messing around with this one. Not sure how I feel about
The Cardinals look good too. Somehow Kyler Murray is good at football.
it. He is good.
I don't I don't understand it.
The last game last week was the first game that defense actually stepped up to like their expectations. So like
Yeah.
if that defense stays where it was last week, they're not going to lose another game.
Maybe that's what it is. The Browns defense is a little bit better. I don't know though. I feel like this is a trap. I feel like everybody's going to be hammering +3. But I feel
It,
like Browns come out clean victory.
how is can you look up the Cardinals rushing defense?
I can try my best.
Because
Uh,
the Browns are what number 1 in the league in rushing, and you got Baker's on a hurt shoulder.
oh,
So it comes down to can they stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt? If they can stop him, the game's over. Cardinals win.
I forgot about Nick Chubb. The Browns always have such a good roster, and it makes me so mad that.
But then you got what is it?
From what I'm seeing, it's showing that Arizona is 28th against the run.
Oh God, this is going to be a good game.
Yeah, so
It's a trap game. I like that stat also. It's a good stat right there. So I'm going. I don't know. That's scary. I'm not going to touch it. How about that?
I say it's a field goal game. I'd go.
Screw you, Vegas. I'm not touching it. Yeah, I think it's going to be a field goal. That'd be a close game, I think. I think the Cardinals' offense are good enough to keep them in it, obviously. Browns, it's all going to be in the hands of. I think Nick Chubb's going to do his thing, obviously. It'll just be in the hands of Baker. What can he do? Is he going to throw a pick? Is he going to not score? We'll see.
Well, there's reports that Odell's not happy again about his
Oh,
production, so they're probably going to force feed him the ball, and it's not going to turn out good.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't like this NFL week at all. If you're asking, I don't know. I don't
I have
like it.
one bet I'm pretty confident in, and
I do too. I have one bet.
That's it.
One
Yeah,
bet.
and mine's probably the same as yours. So
I bet it is.
Got one as well.
But yeah, so let's go into our locks of the week. We're going to each give you 2 locks of the week, one college, one NFL. Smitty, you go first. What's your lock of the week for the collegiate football?
I am going a little different than just a normal pick 'em.
Okay.
Alabama first half 10.5.
Oh,
They cover
spread.
that. I said they're at least up 2 touchdowns at the half. I
like
think they
that.
come out. So Mississippi State doesn't rush the ball as much as a normal SEC team would. They're going to be passing. Alabama's going to get a lot of possessions. Alabama's ticked off. I say they come out shooting and fast. I think Alabama covers the 10.5 at first half. They're up at least 2 touchdowns.
I like it. I like it. Austin, what's yours?
College, I'm going to go with the over for the Cincinnati UCF game. Both teams can score. Cincinnati's defense is going to be a little bit tougher on old Gus and his squad, but I think that it's going to be a little bit higher scoring than people think. Whether or not Cincinnati takes that 21-point spread and runs with it, I don't know, but I can definitely see it being a high scoring game. I could see Cincinnati scoring almost 50 themselves. So
Yeah.
as long as UCF can, score 2-3 touchdowns in there, I think that's a pretty safe over.
Nice. My lock of the week, I'm going Michigan State -4.5 against Indiana.
They've been hot.
They've been really hot. I think Michigan State, I looked at they don't play Ohio State in the regular season. So I looked at it. I think, but besides Michigan, if Michigan's even good, I don't know if Michigan's good or not. Anyways, I think Michigan State, they're in a good spot to maybe get a playoff bid if they can win out. But I think Ohio State's going to end up taking the Big Ten championship. But my lock of the week for college is Michigan State 4.5. Moving on to NFL. Austin, how about you go first?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm taking the obvious here. I'm going to take the Bills with that 5.5-point favorite. So, yeah, Bills lock all the way.
I'll go second. Mine, I don't know. I'm just going to go with my gut. I'm going Chargers +3.
That's a lock.
Yes, it's a lock.
That's
It's a lock for this NFL week. This NFL week's god awful. I couldn't even tell you. Matter of fact, if I had to be honest with you, I'm changing it.
Okay. Okay.
My lock of the week, tomorrow night or tonight, Thursday night game, I'm going Eagles +7. Tom Brady sore, hurt, Thursday night game. I think the Eagles are going to look very rough the first half, but I think second half they're going to do what they've been doing all year. They're going to kind of come back and keep it close. I think Buccaneers are going to win this game, but I think the Eagles keep it within a touchdown.
I love that pick. That was my first lock, but I got us backup one. I do love that because Eagles defense is not bad, and the Buccaneers lost their whole secondary, and the Eagles don't rush the ball. They're the number 1 passing team in the NFL. I love that pick. I think they'll cover.
Yep. All right, Smitty, what you got besides the Eagles?
Yeah, besides that one, I'm going Cowboys -4.
Oh,
Yeah, against
some
the
people
Patriots.
some people are saying this is the Cowboy trap game.
No, see, this whole year has been a trap game for the Cowboys. The sports books haven't showed them any respect, and they've been killing it, defense and offense. So, and we've seen the Patriots struggle all year. They even struggled against a rookie Davis Mills last week. So I really like this Cowboys -4. I think they at least win by a touchdown plus more.
Yeah. We'll see. But I do like that one too. It's a very odd. Where'd you guys get your odds from? I got mine from FanDuel.
Yeah, I got my I don't know. I either got my that last one from FanDuel or BetMGM, but I'm pretty sure it's FanDuel.
Yeah. If you can get that Cowboys at -3.5 where it is right now at Caesars. What'd you say? You got it at 4, Smitty?
-4 on BUSR. Yeah, I'm not one of those legal fancy betting states. So.
Oh, you're on the Chinese ones.
Yeah, no. BUSR and Bet Online -4. Yeah.
Smitty's bookie is in one of those crates in the middle of the ocean right now. Waiting to get in this country.
But yeah, with the Bills are playing the Titans this week, so at -5.5. And then Tennessee just lost one of their starting defensive tackles. So
yeah, that was an obvious lock because Tennessee looks terrible.
Dude, it's so bad, so I had to take it.
Yeah. Well, guys, that wraps up our, I guess, first episode back at the Field House. Be sure to, I think we're going to be using the same Twitter, the same Instagram. We're just going to change the names up. We also have a TikTok now. I'm super pumped about this TikTok. We're gonna make Austin dance. It's gonna be at Fieldhouse_podcast. Find us on there. We'll be posting clips, all that fun stuff. And you can find us on YouTube. Smitty, what is it called?
The Fieldhouse Pod.
The Fieldhouse Pod. We're going to drop some links whenever we drop this episode, and we'll drop some links so you can like and subscribe and just have a good time with us. Other than that, hey, we're back. We're excited to be back. If you still haven't got your T-shirts, they're behind. The train stations are been shut down. They're behind. I think our T-shirts are actually on the coast of New York, just waiting to get, wait to port and wait to ship. But other than that, we will see you guys later. Peace.